Oh my goodness, hi! Hi, welcome to my channel. If you don't know who I am, I have no idea how you've managed to get to this channel, but welcome. I am at Meg's Bookstack on Instagram. I post just bookish stuff, book reviews, which I've been slacking on. I have been making a lot of reels recently. I know they're very different. I decided to make a YouTube just to talk about books. I thought it'd be fun, and yeah. I thought I'd start it off with a huge book haul. For me, this is very big. I have not had a proper book haul in a while, so I thought I'd start off the new year in the right way, which is buying books. I'm a person that buys too many books for how slow I read, so this year I'm going to try and justify all of this. There's a mix of books that have been bought for me for Christmas that I bought a while ago. There's a few independent bookstores, there's a few Waterstones obviously, and there's an Amazon parcel as well. Hopefully some of them might tickle your fancy and you'll add them to your 2023 TBR. I'm going to start off with the books that I got gifted for Christmas. Hold on, I'm going to move these off. It feels a bit more exciting when you can't see the ones that are already unboxed. My boyfriend is an absolute gem, and every time I have an anniversary, a birthday, Christmas, he'll get me a few books that have been on my wish list for a while, which is really sweet. So I'm gonna do those ones first. First being Ace of Spades. I really enjoyed One of Us is Lying and Good Girl Guide to Murder. I know they're a bit different, but I kind of get like a hybrid between One of Us is Lying, Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and maybe a little sprinkle of Truly Devious. I like those kind of style of books. I feel like this merges into that. Actually, what it's about is Nevius Private Academy, and there is an anonymous texter called Aces who targets two students. Both, I think, got skeletons in their closet, which is why they've been targeted. I kind of get Pretty Little Liars, but very different vibe. Butchering it. Anyways, it sounds really good. Yeah, so Ace of Spades. So the next one that I got gifted by my partner was Portrait of a Thief. So this book follows Will Chen, who is a Harvard senior who gets offered a very illegal job offer, and he has no choice but to take it, and in doing so will be able to bring back all of the wrongfully stolen Chinese artifacts that are hidden away in museums and curated in America. I think it's a very different read to what I'd normally read. I feel like it's a bit more contemporary fiction, which I really love. I have a love-hate relationship with museums. You can't help but think, well, that's not really property of the UK, but okay. I think it's gonna touch on some very interesting points. I've heard really good things about it as well, so yeah. Portrait of a Thief. I'm now gonna go on to some books that I purchased from some independent bookstores. This one's from a bookstore just near my work, and I love it. And I went in there and I picked up actually the second book. And I was like, yeah, no, I really want this. And she was like, have you read the first? I was like, no. I thought this was the first, which I think is the gold covered one. I thought they were the same book, just different covers. It's Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and I've been on a cat binge, if you will, recently. I just really want a cat and saw this and thought, yes, absolutely. It's about a cafe in Tokyo where when you go in there, it gives you the opportunity to go back in time. I think it sounds really interesting. It's a short read and I really like just being able to get through a book really quickly. It seems really cozy, and yeah, clearly I want to get the gold one as well, so I've got to read this one. I'm really looking forward to reading this, and I think it'll be quite a quick read. On to the next one. On the theme of cats, from Waterstones, I picked up The Cat Who Saved Books. This looks like a super cozy book. It follows Rintaro, who has recently lost his grandfather and is devastated, and then gets approached by Tiger. Tiger wants him to accompany him to save books from those who have wronged them and betrayed them. This seems like a really heartwarming read, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. And also, look at the cover. It's beautiful. Cat binge, clearly. So the next book is The Simple Wild. It follows, I think, Carla, who is trying to rekindle a relationship with her estranged father. In doing so, ends up meeting an Alaskan pilot. I don't know. It just seems super romantic. It's the first installment in a series, I believe. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this. You'll see I kind of went on a very strange binge of certain genres, especially later on. I really needed a few feel-good books, so I thought this would be a very good way to start it. So the next one, I mean, I say that I went for feel-good books, but the next one is debatable. It's Survive the Night. First of all, the cover's incredible. Look at that. beautiful. It's about Charlie, who is currently travelling across country with potentially a serial killer, but she doesn't know. All she knows is that she can't see the trunk, and they are avoiding the topic of the serial killer that is on campus. There are some issues with the stories that are being said. She's just trying to work out whether or not she is sitting in a car with a serial killer. It's a really interesting premise for a book, I think. But yeah, so it sounds like a really interesting read. Maybe when I finish going through all the feel-good books, I can read this. But yeah, it sounds really, really interesting. Riley Sager is a fantastic author. Survive the night. I have got is Babel. Very unlike me to read this. It's a big book. It's beautiful. Look at her. Babel follows Robin, who is orphaned, is studying at Oxford University. He's classically trained in Latin, in ancient Greek and Chinese, all in preparation for him to enroll in the Royal Institute of Translation, aka Babel. Although Babel is primarily for translation, it's also magical. But when Britain pursue an unjust war with China, he has to decide whether or not powerful institutions can be changed from within. I think it's a very thoughtful book. From what I've heard, this is the assumption. I have not read it. It sounds really interesting and very much a different kind of read. I feel like it's got notes similar to A Secret History. That's the vibe I get. Could be wrong. It sounds super interesting, and yeah, I've heard a lot of people love it, so fingers crossed on that one. Now on to the opening ceremony of some books. I am warning you now, there are some very strange books in here. I'm not going to go into too much context over why I have bought them, what they are doing in my house. You can see the spiraling with a lot of these books. Just warning, I'm just warning you. So the first one, Cleopatra and Frankenstein. So Cleopatra and Frankenstein follows Cleo and Frank. Cleo's student visa is running out, so naturally she finds a man 20 years her senior to marry out of convenience, and he has got a serious drinking problem. She offers him a life of beauty and art in return for her being able to paint and to apply for her green card. It's a marriage of convenience trope, which I haven't really explored much. Really intrigued to see how it goes, but it seems like whilst it's a romance kind of rom-com vibe to it, I kind of get contemporary fiction. Could be wrong. I'm probably wrong about all of these books, but you're just gonna have to trust me. Cleopatra and Frankenstein. I'm super looking forward to getting into this as well. I'm gonna start off easier, maybe. First one is You Deserve Each Other. I've heard nothing but good things about this book, so I'm really looking forward to getting into it. I've heard it's very funny. It follows Naomi and Nicholas, who are 3 months away from their marriage, but they can't stand each other. They know that whoever surrenders and says, you know, I can't do it anymore, has to foot the bill for the wedding. Imagine. So what they do is they go out of their way to sabotage each other, and they've realised whilst being more themselves, they're actually getting on better than they thought they would. I'm really looking forward to reading it. I've heard that it's a really funny book. The last book I think that made me genuinely chuckle was Convenience Store Woman. It was brilliant. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this. I love a good rom-com. One more book before we go into what happened. Writers and Lovers. So it follows Casey, who has just come out of a love affair. Her mum has just died, so she's mourning, and she's still 6 years later cannot finish her book. All of her friends are getting married at the age of 31. They're all getting married, having children. She feels really stuck and lost. Then comes along Silas, who is handsome, kind, but only a couple of weeks later comes in Oscar, who is older, he is fascinating and troubled. Everything, you know, was so good for you. She gets stuck into a bit of a love triangle and is trying to navigate what the pros and cons are of both relationships. I want to find out if she finishes her novel. That is Writers and Lovers. I've heard a lot about this on Book Instagram. I've heard good things, looking forward to it. I spiraled trying to heal my inner child, so I've had to buy a children's book. I'm prefacing it. The first one is Ollie's Lost Kitten. Don't question it, okay? It's a picture book. I'm not going into any more detail. It seems really cute. Sometimes I just want to read a book that looks like this again. And there's another one. You can tell I've been going through something, clearly. Pick a Pumpkin. These both look like such cute books. Look at it. They look like vibes. They look like light-hearted reads, and I guess, you know, I don't have to justify myself. Yeah. Those are some more books that I've ordered, and here is the final box. This pile is getting rather large, so I'm gonna have to start a second pile. The first one is The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley, the author of The Guest List and The Hunting Game, I believe. This is set in a beautiful old apartment in Paris, all in the back streets. There are a few characters in this apartment. There is the party animal, the curtain twitcher, the secret lover, there's a few other ones, and there has been a murder in apartment 3. I believe the book is just trying to work out who is the murderer. It seems really interesting. I really like her writing style, so I'm really looking forward to getting into reading this. I don't know why, this is kind of giving me the vibes of, oh, what's it called? Lock Every Door, which I loved, but I'm looking forward to finding out who did it. Who did it? But yeah. That is the Paris apartment. The next one is When in Rome. You can tell at this point I was wanting romance, so that's what I ordered. This follows Amelia Rose, who is a pop sensation who is very burnt out, wants to escape. So after watching Audrey Hepburn's Roman Holiday, she decides to go to Rome, as in Rome, Kentucky, not Rome, Italy. Ends up breaking down on the drive of Noah Walker, who takes her in. He is the owner of a pie shop. It's just cute. It's one of those books that you know what's going to happen at the end, I think. Obviously, it's a romance novel. It just seems really wholesome. See her for what she really is. I'm sure there are some teething issues throughout it. It sounds like a really good, feel-good, funny book. I've heard it's quite funny. I feel like the differing characters may be a bit comedic, so I'm looking forward to reading it. When in Rome. Next, okay, this has been on my wish list forever. I love graphic novels. I love Sheets. Laura Dean keeps breaking up with me. Added this to my wish list, completely forgot about it. It's Pumpkinheads. I love autumn. I love Halloween. Hence the Pick Your Pumpkin and Ollie's Lost Kitten, but I thought this seems like a really, really good read. So this is an adventure graphic novel. It follows Deja and Josiah, who are seasonal best friends. They work at a pumpkin patch every single Halloween, but they're now finally seniors and it is their last shift together. They're both very melancholy about it, very upset, and so they decide to go on an adventure and go out with a bang. But I'm really looking forward to reading it. It seems like a super, super wholesome book. Yeah, so that's Pumpkinheads. Next we have Funny You Should Ask. This, first of all, looks incredible. I love a good pink book, but sounds really, really good. Funny You Should Ask follows Chani, who is a writer and 10 years ago got offered a profile on Gabe Parker, who is in the latest James Bond. She can't turn down the offer, obviously, and this interview sets off her career. 10 years later, she's in Los Angeles and she's done a few bits of work there. She's very successful in the dream job that she's in, but everyone always brings up the profile. When the managers of Gabe reach out for a second interview, she wants to say no, but she really wants to find out if those 72 hours were as memorable for Gabe as they were for Chani. But yeah, it seems like a really good book. I've heard nothing but good things about it, so yeah. Funny You Should Ask. We're getting there. This one, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want people's opinions. We all know why I've got it. But good things about it. Seems good book. I will talk about it. I'm just going to read the back because I feel like that's a better way of me doing it. It follows Alex, who's devil blessed with the face of an angel and the curse of a past he can't escape. Driven by tragedy that has haunted him for most of his life. He's just a very icy man, okay? And then when he's forced to look after his best friend's sister, Ava Chen, he starts to feel something in his chest. God forbid he falls in love. And Ava Chen is a free-spirited individual who is trapped by nightmares of a childhood she can't remember. But despite her broken past, she's never failed to see anything but the good in things, including the heart of the icy individual. Alex, of a man that she shouldn't want. I think we all know why I've got this. I've heard it's spicy. I've not read a spicy book in a while. Next we have Winter in Sokcho. This follows a French-Korean receptionist who works at a rundown guest house on the border of North and South Korea when an unexpected guest arrives who is a French graphic novelist seeking some inspiration from Korea. She decides to accompany him. I've heard this book's a bit of a slow one to get into. I could be wrong, that's what I've heard. It seems like a beautiful story, really intrigued to read more about it. That is Winter in Sokcho. 2 more books, I promise. Love and Gelato. Can you see the themes here? This book is set in Tuscany. I love to visit Tuscany. It sounds incredible. Follows Lena, who is on her mother's dying wish to go and reconnect with her father. In doing so, she, I think, gets more than what she bargained for. Seems like a really good feel-good read. I think I'm going to save this for summer because it's a real summer read. Also, by the looks of things, I'm not going to have time until summer. That's Love and Gelato. Okay, and the final book is Cat Lady. You You can see there's been a journey with these books, but yeah, back to the cats. This follows Mia, who is the perfect wife, the perfect stepmother, but when something happens in her life, she has to decide whether or not she conforms to what society wants her to be, or if she is going to live for herself. I think if it says at the bottom, and if that's an independent woman of a cat, then the world better get ready. I'm really looking forward to read it. It seems like quite a funny read. Look at this, but also I got treated. Look at this, so cute. So that's Cat Lady. All my books. This has been a journey. Here are all the books I decided to buy. New year, new me. Really looking forward to getting around to reading these, and hopefully I can tell you how I get on. Got a few really exciting video ideas that I've got coming up, so hopefully I will get some reading in on all of those. Thank you for watching this. If you've enjoyed, please let me know. If these are your type of videos, I'd love to know. If you don't follow me already, I'm at Meg's Bookstack, and if you enjoyed this and would like more content, please do subscribe and turn on my notifications. I'm hoping to get into a routine of posting once I kind of get the editing down, but yeah. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed. And tell me, what book should I add to this pile? Just tell me. I'd love to know. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye!